hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
All right, Hot Boxing Minute with the guest, Stephan Big Shot Shaw, my friend, the homie from my gym that I've known for years, one of
Yes,
the
sir.
top prospective contenders coming up in the heavyweight ranks. I haven't talked to you in a few weeks. It's been a while since the last fight was the last time I talked to you when you were camping, right?
Yeah, for the Ajagbe fight, man.
Yes, sir. So normally you're out in San Diego, but you are out in St. Louis this time. Is this going to be the move going on to the future? Just you're going to be out there in St. Louis camping out there from now on?
Um, this might be a one time or a few times thing, but it's not gonna be something that's just gonna be concurrent all the time like that. I feel like maybe one more camp. If not, the next camp might be in New Jersey, up at the camp house for my management team. They just built this they got a big house, nice size little mansion or something like that out there, a nice size crib, you know what I'm saying, with dorms and then pools, just the whole real deal training facility out there in New Jersey, man.
Nice. So have you done training work out there in New Jersey before, like with other gyms and sparring partners out there?
No, I actually never been out there, you know what I mean? We would have had to be chaperone to try to uh try to get a bunch of make trying to make sure that we were trying to get some good sparring out there, and it kind of really wasn't in stone. So we just brought my camp here to my hometown, St. Louis. Brought Bashir Abdullah, my head trainer here, and we added a new addition to the team, Coach Ron Sims. He was a military coach. He was a military guy. He's a former USA national team member back in the day, national champion, fought a bunch of duels, fought a bunch of world games, was on the national team. And, he's been a part of the national team coaching staff as a coach within the past 10, 15 years, and he's went around the world being a top trainer. So he's definitely a great addition to the team, especially him and Bashir. They mesh together very good.
How did Ron Sims end up getting brought into your camp? Was that you that brought him in, or was that Bashir or your father?
It was Bashir. Bashir recommended him, and then I got a feel of him, and I liked him. You know what I mean? I seen Coach Ron around, USA boxing tournaments when I was an amateur. He was always a good, genuine guy taking photos of everybody. You know what I mean? And I always liked Coach Ron. You know what I mean? And I really got a chance to see how he is as like a trainer up close and personal. You know what I'm saying? Having him in my camp, and it's been great. It's been very, very great. I love his tenacity. I love his experience, his expertise. I just appreciate him.
I saw that as far as amateurs, did your son have his first amateur fight? Did I understand that correctly? Was that just
Nah, he
recently?
haven't fought. Nah, he haven't. He haven't fought yet, man. He's just he's kind of training, but he's playing football right now. He's been
Mm-hmm.
focused on playing football. They got him running in that backfield and playing defensive end. He's about 5'5",
Mm.
120 pounds at 10 years old, and they got him running the ball. So he's gonna be like a bulldozer back there, like a Derrick Henry prototype.
Nice, nice. So
Yeah.
does he have any interest in boxing like you did, or is football his main thing at the moment?
He has an interest in boxing, but he's trying to find his way. You know what I mean? He's trying to find his niche. You know what I mean? He loves boxing. He loves basketball now, and he loves football now. You know what I mean? He's a true kid right now. You know what I mean? But he's most of all he's very intelligent, bro. Like he got an award for like being like the smartest fourth grader in his whole school district last year, making straight A's. So, I can't do nothing but grant him anything he wants, to be honest. You know what I mean? That's
I
my
wish I
baby.
wish I had it like that when I was that young. I was so unfocused when I was young. Bro. I was
Yeah,
so
but
bad.
man, but yeah, man, but he's, that's why I try to be on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as a young boy, you can get off focus, you can get off track, and he's just learning, and for as far as boxing, he wants to, but I'm not gonna allow him to box unless he's like 100% motivated to do this. I want him to give this 100%, 110% at this, at whatever he puts his mind to, And I also tell him, don't box just because daddy boxing, find your own niche. But if it's boxing, we're gonna help you try to become the greatest fighter of all time.
It's interesting because I got a chance to speak to Fernando Vargas, and you could see that he's got he's kind of conflicted about his son's boxing. And understandably so, because we all know Fernando Vargas' story. They threw him in the deep end super young, so you could tell he's real
Yeah,
protective about his sons. And
yeah,
and I
as
asked
he
him,
should be, because my bad, because like I've watched Fernando Vargas' career since the amateurs. You know what I mean? Since he came out the Olympics as a bronze medalist at 17. You know what I mean? You know, they did Floyd Mayweather the same way. It's just Floyd Mayweather prevailed. You know what I mean? Actually, Floyd, they both were like 17 coming out the amateurs. Both bronze medalists, and they both were the youngest. They both were the fastest guys to become champion. They both became champion in 1998. It's just Mayweather, I think, won his title like 2 months before, so Mayweather got the crown to become like the youngest, the first champion out of that class. You know what I mean? And
okay, okay.
yeah, 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 man. And so but Fernando Vargas, he was a hell of a champion, hell of a fighter. You know what I mean? Hell of a fighter. You know what I mean? But like you say, put him in there against Felix Trinidad, who was ascending to a whole nother level at that time, and that was dangerous, man. He was very dangerous. But that was a great fight. Vargas put up a great fight. You know what I mean? In that fight.
Dude, he gave us a couple of good fights,
Oh
a couple
man.
of good fights, and I think it helps when you have like in Floyd's sake, he had his father and his uncles, and they all gave him the
Yep.
experience that they had. And
Yep.
Fernando Vargas didn't really have that kind of guidance in his career. So when Floyd was making his chess moves, he was a lot more calculated than Fernando was, as opposed to getting
That's
thrown.
true.
Even though Floyd did take some crazy challenges early on, he knew what his skill set was. I think Fernando might have overestimated what he was capable of a little too early.
I could definitely I can agree with you on that one, bro.
Man, shoot. But
Yeah.
let's focus on my guy
Yeah,
Stephan
yeah,
Shaw
yeah.
here on this one. So we before we get into what's going on in your fight, we definitely got to talk about the Efe Ajagbe fight. I know
Yeah, man.
it was so the boxing fans that have followed your story are definitely curious as to what happened. We want to know what happened with the Efe Ajagbe fight, Stephan.
I mean, I think I stuck to the game plan of trying to box too much. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It really wasn't no urgency. Um, like just for example, when Terrence Crawford fought Sean Porter, after 10 rounds, Crawford thought he was winning, but he got a nod and from I think Timothy Bradley or somebody, and they just told him that he was down, and you can see the way he reacted was like, "I'm down, I'm losing, how?" And when somebody put that fire in him, he went out there with that tenacity to try to get this guy up out of there. I'm not saying that it wasn't like no sense of urgency, but it was just I really don't know, man. I felt like I won the fight. I felt like I boxed good enough to at least win the first 6 rounds. You know, the scorecards they had after the first 6 rounds, I was up 4-2. You know what I mean? And then they said I lost the last 4 rounds straight. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I felt like that it was, if anything, it could have been a draw. You know what I mean? I felt like it could have been a draw and we could run it back. You know what I mean? I took the fight on an 18-day notice. You know what I mean? I was originally supposed to fight the guy that got stopped by a guy that me and Ajagba beat in Guido Villanello. I thought I was getting ready for him, and they asked me last minute to fight Ajagba, and I stepped up to the challenge. And I feel like the game plan was a little bit off. I think I should have just stood my ground a little bit more. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I might be too emotionally invested in Team Stephan Shaw because I've watched that fight at least 3 or 4 times, Stephan, and I see it the same way every time. I see a
Yeah,
draw. I see a draw,
yeah,
Stephan.
yeah. I
Like
did.
like
I mean, I seen the draw. Like, I definitely seen the draw.
but I got other people that I know, they're critical boxing people too, and they were like, no, I think Efe edged that. I'm like, I just don't see it. Like I see what you
Yeah,
saw, like what you said just now. You thought you dominated the first 5-6 rounds, which is what I saw with the jab, and then I kind of saw Efe turn it up with his jab the last 2-3 rounds. To me, it
but
seemed like you were,
that's the last 2 or 3 rounds.
yeah, and then that last round was up for grabs. I saw you crack him nasty in the fifth,
Yeah.
and then the sixth round is almost a swing round, and I still would edge that one to you. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but when the
They
decision
said
was,
it
I
was
was
a
like,
lot of swing rounds, and
a
we
lot.
was just off the caliber of judging what the judges, deemed their liking at that point. You know what I mean? That's why, like, I look at myself as a fighter that hasn't been beat. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
haven't. He didn't wobble me, hurt me. He didn't crack me. Like like he's more of the knockout puncher. I've also showed in my game, like throughout my years as a professional fighter, as an amateur, as a kid, that I could box using lateral movement. And I thought that's what like Frank Sanchez, the guy that beat him. You know what I mean? He didn't really do nothing but box him. You know what I mean? He did drop him. So you could say, you know what I mean? And then, it was an even battlefield there. You know what I mean? It was a PBC promoted and top ranked promoted card when Sanchez and Ajagba fight. I guess they had me as a favorite, I guess the betting favorite, but I guess I really wasn't the in-house favorite. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Well, I
I
can tell
just
you,
pray.
this, Stephan, on mine from what I've noticed. We're not talking about the casual boxing fans and the trolls because they're going to be there. Their opinions are going to be severely from an uneducated place, and I don't knock them because casuals and trolls are going to have their views, and a lot of times they don't make sense
Yeah.
to nobody that's educated. But to the people that matter, to the journalists, to the managers, to the matchmakers and insiders,
Mhm.
I don't think you lost any real super amount of stock in their eyes. I think everyone is still very conscientious of the fact that Stephan Shaw is a very technically gifted fighter and
Yes,
still has a
sir.
good ceiling in this game. So,
Absolutely.
Lou DiBella posted out, and obviously Lou DiBella would, but a lot of us were like, yo, Stephan had every possible ability to beat that guy. The decision didn't
Yeah.
go your way, and
I
damn, that's
pray I can
boxing.
get. I pray I can get the rematch. You know what I mean? A lot of people said that it was like a dud. It was a boring fight. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It was just like it was two. It was two guys that was like, I guess guys can look at it as punchers. Ajagba was very cautious. Ajagba didn't fight. Ajagba didn't fight like he usually do. To me, you know what I mean? Like we've seen
Mhm.
him detonate guys, and he wasn't able to detonate me. You know
No,
what I mean?
he was very apprehensive, and
Yeah,
and
he
I
was.
think, yeah.
I was at times I was trying to lead, but he kept his long reach. He has the longest reach in boxing. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's
so
just
speaking of that, so in that Ajagbe fight, we do know he has
mhm.
this crazy long reach.
Yeah,
How come you didn't fight him on the inside? Like my mind is saying, get on the inside, like
right,
suffocate his reach.
right.
Was that a possibility for you, or was it just you couldn't get in?
Shit, I just at that time I felt like I couldn't get in. You know what I mean? But I definitely worked on it. I've worked with guys. I work with guys super tall now. You know what I mean? I work with all kind of. It's just about letting my hands go and just being comfortable and having fun in there. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And letting the chips fall where they may. I think I was micromanaging that fight too much mentally. You know what I mean? I thought I was in control. I was judging the rounds too much on my own. But instead of just really just going out there and just really just saying fuck, you know what I'm saying, and just letting it go. You know what I mean?
Because
Because
in
if
my
I
mind,
said fuck
in
it
my
and
mind,
let it go, I
yeah.
think if I said fuck it and let it go, I probably could have knocked them out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like, I feel like they don't even want to give me a rematch because they know I knock them out. I would love that fight. You know what I mean? On the plane, they was the whole plane ride back. We rode the plane back. They was rematch,
Nice,
rematch.
nice.
You
Well,
know what I mean? Like
you did crack him clean a couple times. I saw
he
his
didn't, he
legs.
didn't,
I saw
and
his
he
legs
didn't,
get kind of
and he
tight.
didn't, and he didn't crack me clean at like once. Like he might have got like one shot in or two shots in, but like he never like cracked me like to where it like, you know what I mean? But he did. He kept a good poker face. You know what I mean? He kept a good poker face. He stayed right there in it. You know, it's just learning lessons, bro. It's just learning
I
lessons.
feel like the judges might have given him too many points on the jabs because I feel like you were blocking most of them. I was like, I don't think he's connecting on these. But
Bro, you tell him, bro. I wasn't getting hit at all, bro, with those jabs. Some of
yeah,
them got through, but bro, most of those jabs I was parrying very, very well, bro. I left the fight unscathed, bro. You know what I mean?
yeah.
After the fight, when they announced the decision, like the crowd booed. I got out the ring. I signed autographs like I had won the fight. I had to tell the crowd like, all right, this is it. You know what I mean? Because everybody was rushing me. They didn't rush him after the fight. They didn't treat him like he was the victor or the, you know, they didn't treat him like he was the winner. You know what I mean? I definitely felt that love that, I was the winner. But then you had some guys that came to me that was like, should have did more, should have did more. You know what I mean? And
I
then
think
when
you
I
could have
first
did
looked at
more.
it, bro, when I first
Yeah.
looked at it, I'm like, I should have did more. But then I came back home and just sat and watched the entire fight without the commentary, bro. And then I seen the highlights, like, oh my God, man, some of the defensive moves that I was doing in there were kind of Mayweather-esque. You know what I'm saying? In the fighters meeting, Andre Ward, he asked me, how you gonna take away the big right hand? I'm like, with superior footwork. You know what I mean? Good lateral movement, side to side, giving them angles, not being a stationary target. And that's what I didn't want to be. I didn't want to set. I didn't want to set and be. I wanted to get my little stuff off and then get out of there. But I should have put a little bit more combinations together. I would have won that fight easily. But I feel like with that performance that I did do, it still could have been at least probably a majority decision win for me, split decision, or a draw. A draw, I would have been fine with a draw. You know what I mean? But it's okay. It's okay. I really didn't eternalize it too much at first. Like for the first like month, bro, I was down. I was down on my shit, bro.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to definitely ask you about this because this is
Yeah.
something I feel like it's hard as interviewers, as boxing journal people to ask
Mhm.
these kind of questions because you're not sure. So I feel lucky to have like a rapport with you so I can ask these kinds of questions.
Yeah, bro.
So it was your first loss in your career thus far against Efe Ajagbe.
Yeah,
What went
man.
through your mind? Like, can you guide us through how you felt when the decision was read? Did your emotions change as time passed? Or was it the same then? Or how did you process that first loss mentally?
Oh man, when I heard the decision, I was saying this, I was like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. I didn't want to get ignorant on TV. I didn't want to do anything stupid because that's not professional. You know what I'm saying? It's professional boxing. You know what I mean? And it's a sport. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna win or lose. You know what I'm saying? But hey man, I should have did more if I truly wanted if I didn't want to be disappointed. Looking back at the fight. You know what I mean? Again, at the time, like man, I felt like I won at least 6 to 7 rounds. You know what I'm saying? But looking at the fight, it was like, ah, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it was real tough, bro. I went through a lot of emotions, bro. A lot of sadness, a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness. You know what I mean? A lot of thoughts in my head. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of things that transpired. You know what I mean? A bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? But I talk to God. I got a great support team. You know what I mean? I got the love of my children that's unconditional. I got the love of my wife, my mother. You know what I'm saying? My family. I got the love from them that's unconditional, bro. So they definitely helped me get over it. You know what I mean? And I helped myself get over it because I truly know who I am. You know what I mean? And that wasn't the best Stephan Shaw. That wasn't it's just the beginning for me, bro. That was my and then all of those emotions of being held back and bro, I got 20 fights as a professional fighter, and I've been pro for 10 years. That's only an average of 2 fights a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know all of the struggles that I've been through on previous interviews.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? And all of those things went through my head. You know what I mean? I was mad in the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. I pray I can get granted the rematch. You know what I mean? That fight was only announced for like 2.5 weeks, and we almost did 500,000 views. We did over 400,000 views. You know what I'm saying on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? I felt like if that was promoted a fight like 6 weeks out, who knows who could have tapped in? And I think a lot of that stuff is pre-planned. You know what I mean? How they market others, they haven't marketed me like that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, what makes me any different? Like, who know? Keep me busy. You know what I'm saying? Keep me out there to the public to where when they do see me box, oh, it's something different. No, I'm a boxer, puncher. You know what I mean? I can that my grandfather's philosophy. We gonna bang a little bit, we gonna box a little bit. You box the brawler, you brawl the boxer. You know what I mean? That's the name of the game. And the name of the game is hit and I get hit. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
So, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'll be thinking they just want two big black 6 foot some fighters, heavyweights, just to sit in the middle ring and just duke it out. You know what I mean? That's why, I'll be thinking that sometimes, but you know, it is what it is, bro. God is good. You know what I mean? Here I am blessed with another opportunity to redeem myself and go out there. And this guy that I'm fighting, that like, bro, I'm gonna keep it real. They lower my pay scale. I mean, like what I'm getting for 8 rounders is not what I'm getting, not what I was getting before. You know what I mean? But it's cool though because God is good, man. You know what I mean? I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? It's still great money. It's still a great opportunity. And just do my thing out there Saturday night, man, and everything will be back good. And I'm
Well,
ready. I'm very ready.
I'm glad that you mentioned your family, you mentioned God. That's
Yeah, bro.
pretty much all you really need, man. Like that's the most
Yeah, bro.
important things you got there. If you keep sight of what's really most important, most valuable, you could get through anything in life. I believe this. I believe
That's
this.
true,
So,
bro.
you had your moment. It's a learning lesson, and the only path is moving forward and upward from this type of stuff going on. So it's
Absolutely, bro.
so what were the most important learning lessons from that first loss to Ajagbe that you can take going forward? Like what would you say were the few small points that were the most important that you learned from that lesson?
Just let my hands go. Just show them that shit, big shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the biggest. Just show them all that shit that you possess, big shot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've been dying for the public to fall in love with me, and I've been dying for these people to make me a household name. You know what I mean? And like I say, the way that to become a household name was presented, it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Short notice fight. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I didn't. My last camp only had one sparring partner. This camp I've had multiple sparring partners. You know what I'm saying? At least
Nice.
3 to 4. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? We crossing every T and dotting every I, man. And staying on my P's and Q's too. So, you know what I mean? Training has been going great. You know what I mean? Even with training camp being here in St. Louis, bro, I felt like the stress and the worry from being out of town and just I mean I love San Diego and I love the environment out there, bro, but this is my first time to really feel like have that support here at home. You know what I mean? I've had people come to the gym. I had my big bro Devin Alexander come to the gym, giving me flowers. You know what I'm saying, and saluting me, and I salute him back. You know what I mean? And I appreciate the
How is
support.
Devin Alexander doing these days?
No, he's doing good, man. He's doing real good.
Is he still involved in the
Devin,
boxing game?
yeah, Devin is actually getting involved into like the promoting now. Devin is trying to slowly get into promoting fights, and Devin is slowly trying to get into helping the amateur program. He has a son, Devin Alexander Jr. That's like a splitting image of how he's built, and he favors his mom, but He's built just like how Devin was when Devin was about 15, 16. You know what I mean? And he's helping him. He's winning. You know what I mean? And that's my little bro. And you know what I mean? I've they had some fights not too long ago where, legendary fighters like Michael Nunn. I met Michael Nunn. He gave me his flowers. We exchanged numbers and talked. I met Michael Spinks. We talked. Uh uh just a bunch of legends, you know what I
Is
mean, in
Michael
this
is
game.
Michael Nunn from St. Louis?
No, he's not from St. Louis, but they had like some fights here in St. Louis where they were honoring legends like Michael Spinks, Devin Alexander, Corey Spinks. Corey Spinks came in town. That's another big bro of mine that still supports me and giving me flowers and kudos and pointers on the game. You know what I mean? And Michael Nunn, he was also here. They brought him in as like a special guest. You know what I mean? Former world champion from St. Louis, William Guthrie, who was an opponent of Michael Nunn, who grew up with my father. He came in town. He gave me flowers and, saluted me and, just gave me some words of encouragement. And I appreciate all of that, man. I'm a real historian of boxing. So any legend like that, from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, I salute because that's what I truly grew up on. You know what I mean?
What
And
was that? What was that like visiting the on your last trip up there to the New York State area? I saw you at the Boxing Hall of Fame. That was your
yeah,
first time going to Canastota?
yeah, that was my first time. They wanted, like, I was doing all of that too, fight week. They had me running around going there, you know what I mean? Going there trying to see the Hall of Fame. I met the director up there, you know what I mean? And I got emotional, man. I cried. You know what I mean? Because I took the photos with him up there, and he said, "Man, just keep doing what you're doing. In about 10 years, you'll be here." You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
felt that. You know what I mean? And I just saw the fighters. I saw a young Floyd. When I saw young Floyd, like young, like after he beat Philip Indu, and it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I mean, I remember those fights, and it's like, wow, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm here. But I think I should have. It was just a lot going on, man. And I'm just glad that I dealt with it like I did, and I still handled it great. I still handled it great with it being a short notice fight, doing all that run around, not having the sparring partners that I need to truly prepare me for Efe Ajagbe because they switched up opponents from Guido Villanello to Efe Ajagbe. Now they're not even talking about me and Guido even fighting anymore. Now that was the fight that I was supposed to have long ago. He was in my top ranked contract. You know what I mean? As one of the guys to fight him and
Mm-hmm.
Jared Anderson. You know what I'm saying? So basically, my contract to fight these guys is already signed. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, man. It's just a lot of psychological stuff that I've had to deal with that you've seen fighters like back in the day they had to deal with. Like now, these guys, you can get to grow and love these guys because you see their career develop year after year from their first fight to their 15th fight. You know what I mean? You've seen these guys like gradually get into position that they are now. And with me, what? That was my what? That was my third fight on TV. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I think you and I might have discussed this at previous times in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody really knows the magic. It's not magic. Why these guys behind the decision room, the boardrooms make the decisions that they make on who fights who gets what kind of media access. It's based on those big wigs, and I guess they make their decisions based on whatever their gut instinct tells them. I don't know, because one minute, you know, a fighter is getting regular engagement on TV. The next minute, they're matchmaking them all messed up. And like, I just seen them throw Jahi Tucker to the Wolves. And I was like, I don't even know what that was about. I was like, yeah, they
See,
matchmake them like that.
man, it's just,
Why?
bro.
Why do
It's
they? Like,
bro. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's really, really crazy. It's very political and it's very biased, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm.
This game, and then you know, like to kind of make sense of it. Like everybody know when you kind of tell the truth. They want to hold you back. They want to shut you down. So you have to be mindful of what you say. I have to, you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying, like, what I mean? Who knows? Like, it's just crazy, man. You know what I mean? They pick and choose definitely who they want to favor and who they want to push. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? That's the
Well,
world we live in.
the
For
good thing is the boxing fandom, boxing fans, they got really short term memory. So you if you
But
catch an
then that's
L,
also, and
yeah,
then that's also, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's also comes with the game too. Short term memory. If a guy looks bad in one fight and comes turn around and do his thing the next fight, you know what I mean?
all is forgotten.
You're only good as your last fight. See, all of that stuff is just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All of that stuff is just crazy, man. I remember Pretty Boy Floyd used to get so much criticism, and only to see who he end up becoming, the greatest fighter of all time, 50-0, beat the most world champions and made the most money and left with all of his faculties and still looking young and good and still able to do his thing in exhibitions because he wants to, not because he's broke or trying to pay taxes. And that's no
mm-hmm.
disrespect to anybody else that's had to do that. But Floyd Mayweather makes retirement look good. He made boxing look good and cool. And that's my goat. You know what I mean? Him and Roy Jones. You know what I mean? And maybe Ali, Tyson, Ray Leonard. You know what I mean? Along with those guys. You know what I mean? But Floyd did it the best, man. And I remember when he was with Top Rank, HBO. They used to criticize him. You know what I mean? I remember fights. I remember when he fought Jose Luis Castillo. A lot of people, he could have easily lost that fight, but he won that fight. You know what I mean? And then a lot of guys, turn off the turn the commentators down. That's why I don't feed into the commentary. You know what I mean? Because commentary's been biased for years. I mean, for years. I mean,
It all eventually. The way I look at it is, at some point it'll all filter itself out. Like, you and I obviously are of a certain age. I'm a little bit older. I remember the
yes.
criticisms of Floyd too. But now we're here in 2023, and a lot of those criticisms are just whispers, and they will gradually get quieter and quieter as all we're left with is that body of work, that pure body of work.
And
And that's the thing
then
about that's the thing with all the critics, whether it be Roy Jones critics, Oscar's critics, Floyd's critics.
Roy,
Like in
Roy, when Roy was at the top of the game, they was questioning his. I've just been looking at Roy, like when he was becoming pound for pound the best fighter in the game in the mid '90s, to up until he lost to Antonio Tarver, bro. They were criticizing. Oh, do he really want to fight the big names? Man, guys like
man,
Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, and stuff. Those guys did not want to mess with Roy around that time.
Darius Michael Walski, Steve
Yeah,
Collins.
Darius
I,
Miska, Sheffley, Miska, you know what I'm saying? All of those guys, man, he had to go back down. The dude went all the way up to heavyweight, and then they threw money at him to come all the way back down to light heavyweight. You know what I mean? He had to start doing the impossible, playing with his weight and his health, just to prove himself. When
yeah.
after his heavyweight championship, he could have easily retired into the sunset. You know what I mean? And at that time, that was his 50th fight. You know what I mean? Or yeah, he was like 48-1. And they took that fight away from him when he fought Montel Griffin. You know what I mean? In New
Mm-hmm.
Jersey. In New Jersey now. Now, if you look, I think a year before, Riddick Bowe fought Buster Mathis. And he hit Buster Mathis on the ground in the same state of New Jersey. But they didn't take that fight away from Bowe. But the next year, when Roy Jones did that to Montel Griffin in March of '97, he got a disqualification. But that's why I say, 5 months later, he needed his ground. First round one punch, he sat down. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Wasn't
wish
that
I could
wasn't that
have
wasn't
that
that like
rematch.
his wasn't that his like 40 something fight? He was getting close to that 50 mark, wasn't he?
No, he was only like 30 something and oh then. He was like 30
Oh,
something and oh then. But by the time he fought John Ruiz, he was like 48-1, 49-1. He should at that time he really should have been 50-0 like Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? But they
yeah.
gave him that loss, man, and then having that loss from the amateurs, having that loss, he kind of eternalized that and felt like he had a lot more to prove when after winning that heavyweight title, coming from a silver medalist at 156 pounds in an amateur. Really, the gold medalist, like you coming from what, junior middleweight? You know what I'm saying? 156. Earl Spence was Olympian at 152. Could we imagine Earl Spence going up to heavyweight and becoming heavyweight champion of the world? You have to salute Roy Jones. You
Oh,
know
I
what I'm
do.
saying?
I do.
No,
Absolutely.
I do. That's my guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's crazy who they get behind. I love Roy, and then I see him talking to the young boy. I'm like, damn. But no, I salute that and I like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, in this game, in this world, bro, they move the goalpost who they want to score.
It's a crazy game. That's why I applaud all of you guys that step in the ring and do this for a living. It's hard enough to have to fight the
Bro,
person in front of you. You got to fight
right.
the
That's what I was just gonna
industry.
say. It's already dangerous. It's already you. And then in this new era with Floyd Mayweather becoming who he became, bro, it's crazy. Like now you gotta be undefeated for the world to really market for these people to promote you and market you. When you take one loss, it's like, oh, things go wrong. But come on, man. Not when you like I dared to be great by taking that challenge. I could have easily said, no, I don't want to fight Ajagbe. I'm gonna fight this Italian kid who end up getting stopped by cuts easily. You know what I mean? Like, and then like, bro, after that loss, Villanello, he's back, back at the top rank office talking about discussing things for the future. Just got announced the fight. He's fighting in Canada, co-main event or main event, again against a guy by the name of Simon King. You know what I mean? I thought that we could have kept our original fight going, but they've even scratched that. So it's just like it's a lot of psychological stuff that you have to deal with just in life, let alone boxing. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. Like I say, I got a great support team, man, and I got God. I'm a very God-fearing man, and my parents instilled that in me early to handle things like this now.
I'm confident you'll get to where destiny has you placed. You're going to be all
Yes,
right,
sir.
Stephan. I got the utmost faith in this one.
Me
I
too,
do.
bro, and I
I,
appreciate you for that too.
I've seen too many years of that development, and I think I have enough of a boxing mind to be able to gauge where you are relative to your skill set and the rest of the division, and you're up there. And I think most people can see it too. Most of us that know
Yeah.
the game can see it. Like, okay, all right, put him in there again with some more people. Let's do this. like that's the way I view it. No, did I lose connection? Let's switch directions to the fight you got coming up, right?
All right.
So you're fighting a tough fella named Joseph Goodall from Australia. It's a
Yeah.
big human being right there. Looking at Joseph Goodall's approach, what can you say is the most dangerous thing going into this match with Joseph Goodall? Looking at his skill set,
That he's fighting me. You know what I mean? I don't really see any too. Do you see anything dangerous about his skills or whatever? He's six
but,
foot five. He's 6'5", but he's that's about my height. You know what I'm saying? He's about 240. That's about my size. So it's not really nothing different. Like Efe Ajagbe was 6'7". You know what I mean? And like I say, with the longest reach in boxing. And I think Joseph Goodall is definitely a tough and durable opponent. He actually beat Efe Ajagbe in the amateurs.
oh, I
You know what I
seen
mean?
that. I seen that in the box rag.
But bro, if our fight would have been a 3-round fight, I would have beat Ajagbe too. You know what I'm saying? In the
Mm-hmm.
amateurs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
they really
This is
didn't want to
different.
see
It's
amateurs.
it's different too because you're not really sitting down on your punches in the amateurs. It's about getting that volume off.
Yeah, and then I've assessed Joseph Goodall. Like I say, he's going to be definitely a tough and durable and a game opponent. And I feel like he's definitely going to try to come and defeat me. But you know what I mean? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So I'm definitely coming in there trying to knock him out. And I definitely feel like that I can. And I'm gonna go out there and just fight smart and do my thing and reign supreme, bro. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, I watched the what footage I could find of him, like his fight with Huni, I think that's his name, and
Yeah.
he's a pressure fighter. leaves himself a bit open, and
Yeah,
he
he leaves
definitely likes
himself
to.
open a lot.
He drops that lead hand, which is just perfect for your overhand right. I just kept seeing him drop his hand, and he kept getting cracked with the other guy's right hand, and I'm like, ooh, that's not going to be good.
And then if you look at all the opponents that he did face, they were no name club fighters from where he's from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's fought a name outside of him. You know what I mean? And again, that's like no knock or nothing. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's okay. Get through this one.
Yeah.
Get you a good performance. Get yourself back in the W column,
Yes,
and then
sir.
build back up from here.
You already know, Jay. That's exactly the plan. And I'm ready to go out there and prove myself and do my thing and reign supreme, bro. I'm ready to shine. Like, I'm very, very ready. I'm very sharp right now. You know, my mind, my spirit, you know, my heart and soul is in the boxing, bro. And I'm just ready to go out there and prove to the world that I'm the best heavyweight in the world, bro.
So are you gonna have Sims and Coach Bashir in your corner? Or is your dad gonna be in your corner for this fight also, or how does that gonna work?
That's Ryan Sims is my new assistant. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's just gonna be him, Bashir, and Al Gomez. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
okay.
My dad is just he's dad. He has no role involved into my boxing career. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it's and that's how it should be. You know what I mean? That keeps our relationship healthy as father and son because ever since I was little, you know what I mean, it's kind of been like you know what I mean? You know, those father and son relationships in boxing, man, that shit is true, bro. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can't mix. You know, and I'm gonna just be real. You know what I mean? My dad, you know what I mean? I remember I'm bro, there's so many stories I could tell. My dad used to, you know, like Floyd say, hit me, chastise me, talk to me bad. You know what I mean? You know, but you know, I still love my father, you know, and I still had him in my corner after, you know, what he said to those people over at PBC, you know what I mean? Talking to people crazy, you know what I mean? That's just not how you do it. That's just not professional. You know what I mean? But I at that, you know, I was still having them involved, you know what I mean, with my team, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's just to the point now where, it's just he's dad, you know,
No,
and that's
that's
all right.
good. That's a good thing to keep him. For some people, it works. For most, it doesn't. For most, it
Yeah,
doesn't. You could
yeah.
see through the screen like it's real strainful with, like, say Angel and Danny Garcia or Tio and his pops. You can see it's
Angel, and Danny, Tio and his dad. A lot of people are calling for Tio to get rid of his father, but that's his dad. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Mayweather and his Mayweather and his dad. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Roy Jones and his dad.
Oh,
Uh,
Roy Jones pops was crazy. Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. His
you know what
pops
I'm
was kind
saying?
of crazy.
Even Sugar Shane broke away from his dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he
Mm-hmm.
broke away from Jack. You know what I mean? You know, and
So
hell,
can we expect Ron Sims and to be part of your coaching staff from here on forward? Is it just for this one-off fight?
yeah, it's from here on out, man. Coach Ron, that's my man. You know what I mean?
Nice.
He has a lot of great intel. He has a lot of great expertise and his tenacity. You know what I mean? He's tough. He's that knit and grit coach that I need. You know what I'm saying? With Bashir. You know what I'm saying? Bashir's my man. You know what I'm saying? Bashir is like an uncle to me, you know, and he knows his shit, you know, and it's just he really wasn't really going back to the drawing board and really, oh, we have to do this different. It's just nah. It's just show him your shit, big shot, and just go out there and be relentless about it. You know, refuse to lose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm confident you guys will make the necessary adjustments. What little ones that need to be made, and
The little right, the little adjustments
the
that
little
need to
ones
be
that need to
made.
be made, you'll be
You know what
fine. It
I mean?
wasn't a major thing. I think the big thing was just letting your hands go. Just show them what you can, because You clearly had better technique, in my opinion, than Efe Ajagbe all the way around as far as just sheer
Yeah,
skill set. It's just a matter of getting in there, biting that gum shield, and showing out.
yeah, that's it. That's it,
Yeah.
bro. Like I really wish that I could have that fight back. You know what I mean? But you see, I'm back in the ring before he is. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean,
Well, let him rest on his laurels and just keep elevating, doing what it is you got to do.
absolutely, bro. And that's the game plan. Like I say, God is great. God is magnificent. I got a great foundation here at home. You know, I live good. You know what I mean? So I'm not eternalizing anything. You know what I mean? I just go with the flow with it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, hey, I've lost already, so what you got to lose now? You know
All
what I
right.
mean? It's like
All right.
what you afraid to lose now. Like what is like, bro, just go out there and do your shit, big shot. You know what I mean? That's what I just been telling myself and through camp. You know what I mean? I've been knocking these guys out. I've been lifting these guys off their feet. You know what I mean? Stopping these guys. You know what I mean? And yeah, I feel good, man. I feel real
When are
good.
you flying out to Oklahoma?
Thursday. We flying
Okay,
out
Thursday.
Thursday. You know what I mean? I'm going to go get my hair cut in about 2, 3 more hours. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, man. So yeah, my spirits is very good. You know what I mean? And I'm just ready to go out there and have fun. Ready for whatever Joseph Goodall brings. If he want to bring pressure, you know what I mean? We've been working on guys bringing pressure. You know what I mean? Whatever he present, I'm ready to handle it and nullify it.
I'm pretty sure he's going to try to bring pressure, and I'm pretty sure that once you counter him, he's going to have to reconsider his entire life philosophy.
Yeah. Like
He's a pressure guy, and the answer to pressure guys is intelligent counterpunching and footwork. Cake, cake. So let's just switch over to just general boxing. It's an
yeah,
amazing year for boxing. We got an insane amount of really awesome fights coming up.
yes we
Now,
do.
so for the heavyweight division, we got Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Love him or hate him, Tyson Fury.
Oh.
Yeah. So Tyson Fury got a fight coming up, and it's going to be with Francis Ngannou of all people. So as a heavyweight, as one of the big names in Americans boxing scene for heavyweights, what are your thoughts on Tyson Fury facing Ngannou? Should he fight Usyk? Is it cool to get the bag with Ngannou? What do you think, Stephan?
Man, get the bag with Usyk. Get the bag with Usyk. But hey, we
Yeah.
living in he wants to. I mean, he obviously feel like that's an easier fight, and that's a money grab as well. And you can't knock him because he's in that position. But it's like, damn, you can knock him because it's like, hey man, Floyd Mayweather. I don't really like when he fought Conor McGregor, and that went on as his record. That went on his record. You know what I mean? That's his 50th fight. Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? But Gypsy King is a lot more youthful. He's a lot younger than Floyd was. You know what I mean? Floyd was definitely approaching Floyd was 40. I think when
Yeah.
he was 40. You know what I mean? Okay, he's 40. He's retired. You know what I mean? You know, he retired for 2 years after fighting Pacquiao and Andre Berto. And
Mm-hmm.
after he fought Andre Berto, like I say, he came back 2 years later and then did that, event with Conor McGregor. And again, you salute your hat off. You salute that. But it's like Conor McGregor, you still, I mean, not Conor McGregor, Tyson Fury, you still have mandatories. You know what I mean? It's another undefeated heavyweight champion as well. You know what I mean? He got the titles that you let go because of your mental health. He has those titles that you had, man. So let's create that big combustion and that big event between you guys. You know what I mean? But hey, and this is another way for him to stay busy. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. You know what I mean? But this is the new era of boxing right now.
It's fascinating. It definitely splits people. I can't stand the move. We haven't had an
Yeah, I
undisputed
don't I
champion
don't
since
I don't
Lennox
really
Lewis.
agree with it because
Like,
he's a champion.
yeah, exactly. He's a
He's
reigning
reigning
champion, and
champion.
there's business on the table. Like when Ali fought Antonio Inoki, He had fought multiple times that year. He was staying busy. He was a champion, and there really wasn't anybody else on the docket that was really relevant like that. Like there wasn't an undisputed championship waiting, one that we haven't had in 20 years since Lennox Lewis, you know? So it's like, what are
And
we
bro, and
doing,
then
Tyson?
when Ali did that that guy was a wrestler, right?
Yeah, he was
That was truly like a novelty fight. Like that guy was on the floor trying to bring Ali down with like leg sweeps and shit. Like this is totally different. These guys are gonna do a boxing match. Like Francis Ngannou record as a boxer is what 0-0. This is his pro debut.
Yep.
That's why I didn't really like you know what I'm saying, like Floyd Mayweather and McGregor. Like they counted that as his 50th fight. Like against a guy making his pro debut, and you got though you could be an MMA, you could be the best MMA fighter in your own right and come into boxing and make millions in your professional boxing debut.
Trust me, it confounds all of us. But if there's a market for it, clearly there is some kind of market for it. I watch it reluctantly just because I watch everything. But yeah, it is. There's a market for it, so people are going to want to see it. So
hey, if it and in the long, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And they felt like that it makes dollar and cents, but you
yes,
know what I mean.
sir.
To the true boxing fans, you know it doesn't. You know what I mean, because like the NBA and the NFL will never counter each other's sports. I
That's
mean,
exactly how I view it. It's two different
you'll
apples and
never.
oranges.
Yeah, it's apples and oranges, bro. You can never get the all-star, the Eastern all-star or the all-stars of the game, the West all-stars and the East all-stars versus the Super Bowl champions. I mean, we'll want to see it if it's flag football. Might not even that. Like, I don't know. But it'll just be like, it'll be very, very weird.
Well, they're getting their bag. So speaking of
That's what
real
it's about,
boxing,
though. That's what it's
speaking of
about.
speaking of real boxing, we got some real boxing matches coming up.
Yes, sir.
Probably the most historical fight of our modern era, of this modern era. We got Spence versus Crawford coming up. How do you see that fight playing out, Stephan?
Man, that's going to be a great, great fight. I'm seeing these guys through their all access and online from their social media accounts. You know, from my homeboy Steve Nelson. You know what I mean? Those guys are getting it in. Those guys are training very, very hard. You know what I mean? And that's the combustion that I want to see. You know, whatever money that they're making, 50 million, 25, 30 million, God dang it, they deserve it. You know what I mean? Because that's the true essence of the game. You know, the best fighting the best, the champions fighting the champions. Excuse me. For all of the marbles, that's what it's about. You know what I
I
mean? That's why
agree.
they're comparing this fight to a Hagler Hearns, Hagler Leonard Hearns. You know, this is definitely from that. This fight is definitely cut from that cloth of those great fights. You know what I mean? If HBO still had, you know, legendary nights, like this would be one of them. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely, I feel, going to be a legendary night. You know what I mean? And the victor will be definitely crowned pound for pound best in boxing, like they should be. You know what I mean? And my results, my prediction of the fight, you know what I mean? I'm not really a good predictor, but man, I just know that it might not go 12. It might not go 12. And
For
if
some
it
reason,
do
I'm
go
thinking it's going to
12,
be a draw.
and if it do go 12, it's going to be a war. Hold on real quick, okay?
Yeah.
Hold on. Who is it? Oh, my bad. It's just my uniform just came in for the fight.
Oh man, the uniform came in.
Yeah,
Nice,
bro. Yeah,
nice.
man. Yeah. So it's going to be a great fight, man. And as a true boxing enthusiast and as a true boxing historian, fan, and a true fighter, man, I can't wait to see it, man. I'm about to be tuned in like a kid back when De La Hoya Trinidad fought. You know what I mean? Because this is that same type of, these are along those lines. You know what I mean? And we might see some stuff like that to where it's a domination, and then it might be a controversial decision at the end. You know what I mean? So man, I'm very intrigued. I want to know who you got winning that fight.
Me, at first I was confident. Like for years, I've been confident that it's Terrence Crawford.
Yeah,
And
but me and Coach
now
Bashir,
I've been watching a lot of Errol Spence footage, and now I'm like adamant it's going to be a draw.
yeah, bro. Like me and Coach Bashir was saying the same thing. Like we was like, oh man, turns. But then, man, as it's getting closer, it's like, whoa, I don't know, because you can't underestimate Earl. Earl is a dog, and Earl can fight. Earl can box. Earl knows he has a great ring IQ. He's not a dumb fighter. You know what I mean? The only advantage that I do have over that Crawford has over Spence is the hand and foot speed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
agree.
the hand, that's the slight edge that I give Crawford in that fight.
This really
Anything
kind of
else, I
reminds
think
me. It reminds me of like if we'd have got Aaron Pryor and Sugar Ray Leonard in the ring, like almost stylistically very similar as far as like a relentless pressure fighter, but not a brawler, a very calculated pressure fighter. And then you got crazy hand speed, crazy foot speed, and just weird angles in Terrence
with
Crawford.
power too. Now, like crazy foot
Yeah.
speed, hand speed with power. And
Mm-hmm.
I think their power is like even. You know what I mean? Uh, I want to see how each other take each other's best shots, and that's what's truly going to determine the outcome of the fight. How well each guy take each other's power.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's going to be a great fight. Like I can't wait to knock this guy out and tune in to July 29th, man. But I'm focused on the 22nd, man. Because I say all that just to say that again, that this guy's going to be tough. He's going to try to come and defeat me, and I can't let that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mate. Yeah, definitely. You definitely never want to overlook an opponent. And I
No,
and
not
I
at
and
all. Because he's coming in hungry. He's coming off a loss, just like me. And this is his first time fighting on American soil. We'll see how he handles that. You know what I mean? This is his first time fighting on a national broadcast here in America. So we'll see how he handles that. And he definitely never fought anyone to the caliber of myself. He's never seen anybody like me.
mm-hmm. Well, I got utmost faith in your skill set, Stephan,
Yes, sir.
and you'll get that win. I'm assuming you'll do it in spectacular fashion, and we will reconvene on the next fight that comes up for sure.
Yes, sir, brother. You
Well,
already know, Jay.
thank you for giving me the time, Stephan. I'm going to end the interview here, and much luck. And I'm sending out my positive energy out there for your fight coming up this weekend. I'm
Yes, sir,
confident
brother.
you're going to get the win, Stephan.
Yes, sir, brother. I am too, bro. And I appreciate you. And I salute you, Jay, for always blessing me to speak on your platform that's growing and growing and growing, bro. I salute you, man. Because
I'm trying.
I remember when you first started this, bro. I remember when you was just I remember kind of when you first kind of start just training in the classes, bro, and learning boxing, and just to see how much knowledge you've obtained just doing your due diligence as a reporter, as a historian of boxing, and becoming, bro, you're on your way to becoming one of the best top journalists in boxing. If you keep going, bro, you're the man on TikTok. You're the boxing guy on TikTok. You know what I mean? And
I
you speak
appreciate that,
well,
Stephan.
bro. You speak. No disrespect to my dude showbiz. You know what I'm saying? But bro, you got to give it to Hot Boxing Minute, man. For real, for real.
Thank you, man. It's weird, man, because I don't really get complimented that. I'm so used to dealing with trolls and haters that like when
Bro,
I get
don't, bro.
compliments, I'm
That's
like,
like you say, like you telling me, like in boxing, bro. That's the new way of the world now.
yeah.
Trolls, bro.
That's mad.
Trolls.
It's mad weird, Stephan.
It's
Like what
crazy.
grown ass man like goes online to hate on another grown man. Like, who
Like,
does
you're
that?
giving my content, you're bringing notoriety to my content. You know, you know what I talk about. You're that much invested, but you want to come on and criticize and try to, like, bro, you do your due diligence, bro. You do your research. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely a guy that studies this shit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna fact check shit. You know what I mean? So you're not really just speaking from some, very biased, opinionated perspective. You know what I mean? You're looking at the facts of what everything is, and statistically, and you're talking about it in that manner. You know what I mean? And how can you hate on it?
Thank you very much for the vote of confidence, Stephan. I appreciate it, my guy.
Yes, sir, bro.
All
Anytime,
right.
man.
I'll chop it up with you later, my man.
Yes, sir, brother.
Peace out.
Yes, sir.